We are still factoring trinomials, except for today we are adding a coefficient in front of x squared. So now we have an a value. So when you get done factoring your problem, you are going to have an answer that looks like this. So the only difference from yesterday is that now we have numbers in front of the x's in our answers. So just for a review, for practice, we are going to FOIL this problem, multiply it out, and to do that, we're going to have to multiply the first two terms. So 3x times 2x would give us 6x squared. Outside two terms, 3x times 5 would give us 15x. Inside two terms, 2 times 2x would give us 4x. And outside two terms, 2 times 5 would give us 10. Now combine like terms. The 15x and the 4x in the middle would get combined to make 19x. And there we have our trinomial, our ax squared plus bx plus c form. So today you are going to be given a problem that looks like this, and you are going to have to find the answer by factoring that looks like that. So we're still doing some guess and checks, but we're going to have to make a chart to keep ourselves organized. So when factoring ax squared plus bx plus c form, we have to look for factors of the 4 in this case, so that's our a value, and factors of 15. So factors of the first term and the last term, or the first coefficient and then the last term, whose two outer factors product plus the two inner factors product is 16, which is our middle value. So I made this chart here, and this is how you're going to have to set up each problem. So factors of 4, that's our a value. Factors of 15, that would be our c value. And then our outer plus our inner is going to give us our b value. Okay, so factors of 4, let's start off with 1 and 4. Factors of 15, we can start off with 1 and 15. Now, outer and inner, what that means is that I'm going to multiply my two outer numbers together. So 1 times 15 would give us 15. Then I'm going to multiply our inner numbers, our inner factors, which would be 4 and 1, and I get 4. To check to see if we have the right answer, we add these together. In this case, we get 19. We are looking for 16. So we're close, but we don't have the correct answer. So let's try factors of 4. We can try 2 and 2. And factors of 15, we can try 3 and 5. So our outer two terms would be 2 and 5 would make 10. And then our inside terms, 2 times 3, would give us 6. If we add those together, we get 16, which is exactly what we wanted. So we know these are the terms that we want to use to write our answer out. So we're going to have two sets of parentheses for our answer. Our first column here are the x's. They're both 2's. So we have 2x and 2x. And then these 3 and 5, those are our constants. So plus 3 and plus 5. Okay, so we have to write them in order. If we had different numbers than 2 and 2, we would have to put the first number in the first set of parentheses and the second number in the second set of parentheses. Same thing with the 3 and 5. 3 is first, so it has to go in the first set. 5 is second, so it goes in the second set of parentheses. So we have to make sure we keep that order right. All right, so factor this trinomial by guess and check. So I'm going to make my chart. The first column is factors of A, so that would be 6. Middle column is factors of C, which would be 5. And then our outer plus our inner will give us 17. So now it's time to guess and check. Factors of 6 would be 1 and 6. Factors of 5 could be 1 and 5. Outer two numbers would be 1 times 5. That would give us 5. And our inner numbers would be 6 times 1. That would give us 6. When we add that together, we get 11. So not quite. Other factors of 6 that I could use would be 2 and 3. Factors of 5, I'm going to have to keep 1 and 5. We might have to switch them around later. We'll see how it goes. Guess and check. 2 times 5 is our outer, so that's 10. Inner is 3 times 1, so that's 3. That gives us a total of 13, so that's not it. So now I am going to try flipping around that 1 and 5. So I'm going to keep the 2 and 3, but I'm going to flip the 1 and the 5. So my outer is 2 and 1. 2 times 1 is 2. And the inner is 3 times 5. That gives us 15. And when I add 2 and 15 together, I get 17. So we have our correct answer here. So we have to write our 2 sets of parentheses. The 2 and the 3, the column of 6, that gives us our x values, our coefficients for our x. So I have 2x first, so that goes in the first set. I have 3x second. Then I go to the column for the 5, factors of 5. I have 5 and then 1. So plus 5 goes first, and a positive 1 is second. Now we have one with a negative sign in it. So we're still going to draw the chart. Factors of 9, factors of 4, but this time we're going to have to add together to be a negative 15. And we never want our a values to be negative. So when we're thinking about negatives, we're going to have to add them in the middle column with the 4. So factors of 9, I'm going to do 3 and 3 first. And factors of 4, I'm going to do 2 and 2. And since I want a negative number left over when I add, I think I'm going to make both of these negative because in order to multiply together to be a positive, they both have to be a negative. So let's guess and check here. Outer, 3 times negative 2 would give us negative 6. Our inner is 3 times negative 2 again, which would give us negative 6. 2 negative 6s would give us negative 12. So not quite. So let's try 3 and 3 and 1 and 4. Again, we're going to have 2 negatives here in the middle. So 3 times negative 4 would be negative 12. Our inner is 3 times negative 1 would give us negative 3. And when we add negative 12 and negative 3 together, we get negative 15. Now to write our answer, we still need our 2 sets of parentheses. Our x column is 3 and 3, so 3x and 3x. And our constants is negative 1 first and then negative 4. We have a problem where the c value is negative. So when that happens in our chart, our a value is 6, our c value is negative 3, and then our outer plus our inner has to give us a positive 7. So multiplying together to get 6, we could do 1 and 6. Negative 3, we could do 1 and 3. But to get negative, one of our numbers has to be negative. Since we want maybe a positive 7 left over, maybe I want to try the 1 to be negative. Let's see how it goes. Our outer is 1 times 3, so that's 3. Our inner 2 numbers is 6 times negative 1, so that leaves us with a negative 6. 3 minus 6 would be negative 3. So that didn't quite work out. So maybe I want to flip that negative sign around. Maybe I want to do 1 and negative 3. So my outers would be 1 and negative 3. And my inner would be 6 and 1. That would be a positive 6. Negative 3 plus 6 would leave me with 3. So I guess I'm going to have to probably find different factors of 6 would be maybe my next guess. 2 and 3, 1 and 3, and we'll try for that negative 1 again. So outer 2 times 3 is 6. And the inner 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And we have 6 minus 3, that's 3. 2 and 3 and maybe 1 and negative 3. Outside is 2 times negative 3, so that's a negative 6. And inside is 3 times 1, so that's a positive 3. Negative 6 plus 3 would give us negative 3. So the reason that I have done so many here is to show you that sometimes it's going to take a while and you're going to have to just keep doing trial and error until you find something that works. So what else haven't I tried? I've used all the factors of 6. 1 and 3 are the factors of 3, and I've switched the negative signs around. So the only thing that I see that I haven't tried yet is flipping that 1 and 3. So maybe we can go back to the 1 and 6 and then flip the 3 and the 1. And I think maybe I'll try making the 1 a negative for the first time. So our outside terms are 1 and negative 1. That would be negative 1. And our inside terms would be 6 and 3. 6 times 3 is 18. If I add those together, I get 17. Closer, still not there. So maybe 2 and 3 and 3 and negative 1. So our outside would be 2 and negative 1. Our inside would be 3 times 3. And negative 2 plus 9 is 7. Now we have to write our final answer. So we have our 2 sets of parentheses. Our x's are 2 and 3, so 2x and 3x. And then our middles, our constants, are 3 and negative 1, so positive 3 and negative 1. One more thing here I wanted to show you guys is that when our a value is negative, we have to take a negative 1 out. So we got to divide everything by a negative 1 because we need that a value to be positive for this to work. So when I divide everything by a negative 1, it means everything becomes opposite. So these were all negative, so now they're all positives. So what that does for my answer is that I just know I have to put a negative 1 in front of my parentheses. And I make the same chart. A is 6, C is 12, and B is 17. So factors of 6, we could do 1 and 6. Factors of 12, we could do 2 and 6. So my outer 2 would be 1 and 6. Give me a value of 6. And inside 6 times 2 is 12. Add those together, I get 18. Okay, we could do 2 and 3 and 2 and 6. My outsides is 2 times 6 is 12. And the insides is 3 times 2, that's 6. Gives me 18. I could do 1 and, could do 1 and 6 and 3 and 4. So my outer 2 numbers would be 1 and 4. That would give me 4. And the inner numbers would be 6 times 3. That would be 18. So that's going to give me 22. ignore this problem here for a second.